right back with another video. It's 5:12 p.m., July 5th, and I'm back with another video because I was doing some thinking, I know a lot of women get targeted, single women get targeted pretty much for the same thing. There's some sort of matchmaking or assuming things about a woman relating to her relationships, and they're trying to, they try to base her employment based on who she's going to be with. Although a lot of women don't know this, okay, but this is very common, okay. If you have somebody who might be interested in you, it's pretty easy because employers don't really pay attention. They're not following the rules. They can come in and manipulate your employment, and you don't even know what's going on, okay. So I think there's, I mentioned before about, me not wanting to get married. I don't have a desire to get married. I don't. I like being single, mainly because I like being alone. I do. Okay, now, oftentimes I do get lonely, but I don't get lonely for male company, or I get lonely for company in general sometimes. But I just, I'm the kind of person, I like to go back to my home and relax and be left with my thoughts oftentimes. And that's where I'm most comfortable. I think my path in life is one of a solitary type person. That doesn't mean I don't want to have friends, because, when I realized that things are going on, before I knew how these people were manipulating the strings, my goal was to just go on with my life, maybe move into a different town or something, and I was hoping I could meet, interesting people that would be of use to me with my projects that I wanted to do. Like, for example, my manual on being a manager, and the just certain projects in general. So that's what I really wanted to do. That my life is filled with interesting little projects, quirky things that I enjoy, that I find stimulating. Now, when I was younger, I was raised to believe that was the ultimate goal of a woman, was to get married. Like, because my mother was from a different generation. Like, my mother was about 10 years older, sorry. My mother was 10 years older than most of my friends, okay? So, like, my mom was born in the 30s. A lot of my friends' parents were born in the 40s, okay? That's a big difference. And the influence on people was completely different. Like, most women who were born in the 40s, a lot of women, I'm not saying most, okay, who were born in the 40s. Oh, do you dig my hat? I made this a while ago. I was trying out a pattern on YouTube, and I made it a little big because I had to modify the pattern a little bit. So I made this, it was a little too big, but I wore it anyway, because I don't want to waste fabric, and it was more like a trial. I was using old fabric, so I made this. But anyway, a lot of women who were born in the 40s were very influenced by, the women's movements and stuff like that, and in the 1960s and, the early 70s, and, being more liberated and that sort of stuff. So, I had these old-fashioned parents, and my mom, my mom in her way of thinking, women got married. That's just what you did, and you had a man who took care of you. And, my mom had a very simplistic view of everything. She's not really aware of, certain dangers that could happen in relationships. Like, for example, someone abusing you. Okay, someone abusing you. She knew that people got abused and stuff like that, but she never really thought about those sort of things. In my mind, it was like, well, of course, when I was younger, I wanted to get married, but wanted to get married for all the wrong reasons, and of course you get all this ideas, in your head about, falling in love and the whole, forever after type stuff. And I remember I used to go to model homes when I was a kid, me and my friend, we would go look at model homes. We would talk about, this is the kind of house I want when I get married. Because you're thinking about the house, you're thinking about this romantic relationship, you're thinking about, I used to even think about myself having kids, like I had one child, okay, but I would think, okay, we get married, we have this little kid, I visualize what the little kid would look like, or how it would look, I had this little round face, kind of chubby and cute. I always thought chubby kids were cute. And but as I visualized it, the kid was always well behaved. The husband was always romantic. The house was always clean, and the reason why I visualize these things that were almost too perfect to exist is because they are too perfect to exist, you know. And then as I got older, I never really had a bunch of boyfriends, and I do remember going out and stuff like that, but sometimes in the middle of the date, I would be like, oh, I really want to just go home. I really don't want to be around this person for very much longer. You get accustomed to being by yourself and making those decisions, okay? Like in this situation where I was married to my ex-husband, family sometimes, they don't want to just leave people alone. They want to be involved behind the strings and stuff, and that's something I don't appreciate. Obviously, my blood relations are the same way. I don't want that in my life, okay? At this age, I'm also too old to have any more children. I don't see any point in getting married, unless, of course, you want kids and you want to have a family. That's really the main reason why people get married. And, of course, the issue is like, sharing assets and stuff like that. I don't want that in my life. I don't. And of course, people are always going to bring up the whole sex thing. Don't you have sexual? I don't really think about sex. I really don't. Okay, I don't think about it. It's not important to me. It just isn't. And there's a lot of women who feel this way, but I will tell you, a lot of women are afraid to say this and I've actually spoke to women who've told me this. Okay, they don't. They don't want to say it because I think it makes people angry. Like it for some reason, because they're so accustomed and used to being highly sexually charged that they think everybody is like that. They can't imagine somebody being, whatever about it. So they think, well, she's lying. She's lying. So, and I think this is a part of my targeting. It's like, well, Maria, she says she doesn't want to get married. She doesn't really care about relationships. So this becomes a part of the targeting. They want to know, really? Because I don't believe it. I know she would like Stephen Lyles. Yeah, of course I would like Stephen Lyles, okay? But, as I got to know more about this whole issue, I'm like, I don't think so. Now, I think he's a good-looking man, but I don't know him very well. I knew him from high school, and what I knew of him was very little. I knew that he came from a very good-looking family, incredibly good-looking. I mean, I can't even tell you how good-looking people were. I mean, it's just like, it was wow, very good genetics when it came to the formulation of the facial figures and everything. I mean, his height was just like, I remember when I was younger, I would compare other people to him. Like, there was this guy, he was like 5'8", he wanted to go out with me, and I'm like, oh God, you're short. Now, mind you, I'm short, right? But I'm like, ugh, God, disgusting. You got to be at least 5'11". I was always, comparing people to this particular guy that I liked in high school. But you're basing it off of physical features, and then a lot of it, I think maybe I was making up parts of his personality because I figured, it was girlish, daydreaming type stuff that spun out of control, But I'm happy on my own. I am. I'm very happy, except for the gang stalking part, I like my home the way that it is. I don't want to deal with men and their NASCAR shit and their sports and all this other stuff. And and I keep thinking, well, some people might say, well, what about like more of the, I don't know, what they call effeminate men, or men who are more softer. I don't want anyone in my house. Okay, I don't want anyone in my house. Okay. People can come to visit, but then I want them to leave. I'm just one of those people. I've grown accustomed to being by myself. As I mentioned before, growing up, I was pretty much a loner. Yeah, I did have those little people, the other playmates, lunchmates, whatever you want to call them. But as you get older, you are more selective about who you associate with. And, if I did find someone to associate with, then, hey, there's nights where I would really like a woman to come over and talk with me, maybe have some tea, work on a sewing project together, talk about stuff, go get our nails done. That would be great. I mean, I would love that sort of friendship, you know. But that's really all I want. You know, I just want those sort of relationships. I'm happy. You know, where some people, they can't imagine somebody being happy by themselves. They can't. But there's a lot of women who really, if they were to do some deep soul searching, because I hear a lot of women, I just want time to myself. And they get really antsy and agitated. They're like, oh, I just can't wait. I'm so glad he's out of the house right now. And they're glad the kids are out of the house and whatever, whatever. And some of these women secretly wish that they could be by themselves, you know. So I'm just honest with myself and just being upfront. I don't want baggage. I don't want it, you know. But so I know that, you know, people think that they try to find inconsistencies in what you're saying, because when you're a target, the whole idea, they think you're like some sort of specimen under a microscope, because they're like really looking and monitoring your actions, and they can't understand, you know. It's like, well, she wears wigs. Well, yeah, I wear wigs because I'm a black woman. Okay, black women, we got to get groomed, we got to present ourselves, we have to be decent looking. Yes, okay. Well, she likes clothes. I've loved clothes since I was a kid, before I even knew about the birds and the bees. That has nothing to do with that. Now, if I was wanting to, I call it vamping, you know, if I wanted to go out and vamp, you know, I would be wearing these low neck, low collar shirts and mini skirts up to my ass. I don't really have a lot of high heels, but if I want, that's what I want to do. If I want to go out and vamp, you know, I would go out and get me some high heels, and I know what that look is, okay? I know what that look is, okay? Mind you, I will say that vamp look is not really going to get you anything, what do you call it, that's going to be worth it. You're going to probably find somebody who's just going to want you for sex, right? But yeah, I mean, I do like clothes and stuff like that, but that has nothing to do with luring in a man. I've always liked that, you know. That doesn't have anything to do with anything, you know. So no, I mean, and I'm happy, and I think that well, of course, with the gang stalking, I'm not happy with that, but when it comes to gang stalking, oftentimes you are gang stalked because women are gang stalked because of this issue, and you're not supposed to base your employment on your relationships or whatever, you know. It doesn't matter if this person set your job up one time and they think in some weird, well, she's not going to be with him. Imagine how devastating that would be. I know a lot of people think that that's okay. It's not okay. It's illegal. Okay. And that's basically human trafficking. And you're basically putting a person in a situation where they get nothing. You can work them through the system like they did me, work them many, many years through the system, being handed off from my family, Joel's family, the Lyle's family, blah, 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 blah. And then, okay, because you tell these people to fuck off, which you should be doing, you know, then they're like, well, she's just out of luck. It can't be that way, okay? It's your labor, okay? The contract is between you and the employer. So women do have rights, okay? I know women have come a long way, but realistically, you know, it's a man's world. You know, it just is, okay? And I think a lot of this has to do with the race as well, because the very fact that, well, I mean, the hair issue, obviously, but I think a lot of the fact that a white woman, you know, Elsie or Polly or whoever the fuck it was, could come in and say, oh, I want this. Then they think, well, she must be credible. I'm going to take her word over this particular person because she looks like me. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's not legal. First of all, she has no rights over me. She has no right to say anything about what I do with my skills. Those are my skills. That's my labor. Okay, so, you know, I know maybe people are impressed with them, because I don't know why they would be impressed with them. I mean, Polly was a housewife, and Elsie was a nurse, I think. Yeah, I think she was a nurse. So, I mean, not that that's a bad profession or anything, but it's not anything that makes her little miss, I'm going to tell people what to do, and she better listen to me. I'm not beholden to anybody. I refuse to be that way. It's not out of disrespect. It's just that, you know what, I don't have any attachment to this person. If you gave me a hand up one time, well, thank you very much, but I didn't ask for it. I never asked you for doodly squat. So therefore, back the fuck off my shit, and leave me alone. And that's just how it is, okay? I put in the labor at wherever, and legally I have the right to do that. That's one of the tactics that these people use. And I the way I see myself in the next few years is, I'm getting older, and I just want to spend it in deep meditation. I would like to go places, leave places, like I was talking about visiting certain spots and maybe go to different states. It would be nice to go visit some of their weird, creepy places. Marie likes her abandoned stuff, and I like old cemeteries, and some of the ones back east are very nice, very, very nice. Okay, there's a lot of history out there. I like stuff like that, and that's what I want to do, and preferably do it with, go out and explore these things with a friend would be great. Unfortunately I don't really have any friends, but and some people would say, oh, that's sad. In my case, considering the alternative, it's not sad. It really isn't. I mean, considering the garbage that I had to deal with and the people I used to know, it's just whatever. But that's what it would be. It would be that way. I do have a completely different life than most people, and you know what? I'm happy with it, and I wouldn't be happy any other way. I wouldn't be happy with a man coming home. Like right now, this I can listen to my music. I can zone out. I can flop on my bed. I don't have to do anything. I can do the dishes when I want to, but I do clean them up right away when I'm always very tidy. But still, I don't want to have to listen to anybody's bullshit. And I sure as hell would not have anybody's mother-in-law telling me what to do. Especially if that person's fucking them. That's insane. No, thank you. No. I'm happy with my life, and some people would say, well, you eat right, blah, 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 blah. That has nothing to do with anything at all. Personally, yeah, I eat right. There's some people I've seen. There's a lady who jogs where I go to work every day. I see this woman jogging. I don't know if she's married, she's single, or whatever. But I'm going to tell you what, her body is like firm. Okay, she's got her muscle tone very well defined or whatever. And I think her body looks great. She's an athletic type. I'm not the athletic type. I mean, I've been, I've worked out and stuff like that, but I'm not, like firm. Now, personally, if I had the choice, I would have a body like Tina Turner's. Tina Turner has an amazing body, and another person who has another amazing body would be, what is her name? Angela Bassett. I love her arms. She's got these amazing arms, okay? Her arms look tough, like she can whip the shit out of you, right? I like that look, okay? And that's, if I ever feel like working towards that, then that's what I would be doing. But I would be doing that for me, not for anyone else. And a lot of people, they don't understand that thinking. And I think that's one of the main reasons why many people fail on their goals to be in the shape that they want to be in, is because they're doing it because they want to maybe please their husband, they want to get this person's attention, blah, 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 blah. And if that works, after a while, that motivation isn't there. If you do it for yourself and only yourself, then that's all there is. And that's what you need in order to achieve that goal. Now, I personally, every day when I do see that woman jogging or whatever, I'm like, good, I'm so glad she's doing what she needs to do. That's what she wants to do. I wonder, and deep down I'm like, I wonder if she gang stalked. And wondering if people up her ass. Probably not, because somehow or another, Maria's always the one who's getting attacked, right? But, hey, some people just prefer, and she may not even be doing it because she likes her muscle tone. Some people really like exercising. Now, I enjoy walking. Most of the time I walk, I do it to clear my head or to loosen up my stiff legs, okay? I have messed up legs sometimes, especially during the winter time. And I like to stretch them, okay? And while I'm walking, I'm sitting here talking to myself, having conversations, thinking things through, okay? But there are some people who, they like to pick up the pace and want to move and jog a little bit. Some people I have weights, okay, but I really am not as proactive in lifting weights, and I don't have any weights that I think are strong enough that's really going to provide that kind of tension that I need to get those Angela Bassett arms that I so covet, right? I don't have those, okay? Joel had them, and I used to, work out with him, okay? But I don't, okay? But for whatever the case is, people have the right to do whatever they want. with themselves, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with that. Now, who knows? I mean, maybe eventually I would go back and start lifting more weights or whatever, because I think those arms are great. Personally, they look great, okay? But it has nothing to do with anything else. I would be looking at it for my own pleasure. It's like, dude, look at this. Look at this. I'd be in the mirror all the time like, look at that. For me. And that's what it should be for you, too. It shouldn't be about anything other than. Because anytime you do it for someone else, it's just not enough. It's not enough. You have to do it for you. That's all I'm going to say. So anyway, Maria's a happy single girl and woman. I'm a woman, okay? I am a woman, all right? Never mind the stuffed frog on the bed and everything like that. Just because I like girlish things doesn't mean I'm not a woman. I am very much a woman, okay? I just like little girlish things is what I like to do. Because I'm in the inside of myself, I'm a very soft-hearted person. I'm a very kind, loving person, okay? But boy, you get me mad. You don't want to see that, right? Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I'll be back with another one tomorrow. I'm done with videos, but I think I'm done for my thinking tonight. Have a great one. Bye.